looking at the legal matters and not money matters. So I want to welcome you this evening, and this evening I'll be talking about 10 questions you must ask before you sign that document. So it's all about don't sign that document yet. There are 10 questions you must always ask yourself. Welcome again. My name is Modupe Vincent. I am a legal practitioner. I am a certified financial planner. And in today's life, I'm looking at the legal side of life. So here we break down money matters, legal matters that matters to you every day. So whether you're watching me live right now, whether you'll be watching a replay of this money matters, I want to welcome you. So then, why this topic? Why am I saying that don't sign that document yet until you ask yourself this 10 questions? I said I'm a legal practitioner, and I have seen a lot of people fall into legal problems, legal challenges as a result of what they have signed. So whenever you want to sign a document, it is important that you have an understanding about what you are signing. So this evening, I'm looking at 10 questions you must ask yourself before you sign that document. We almost on a regular basis, there's something that one way or the other we need to sign. It could be maybe a lease agreement, it could be a partnership agreement, it could be a business agreement, it could be a contract, it could be even tenancy agreement whereby a landlord and a tenant wants to sign. It could be anything, as long as you are appending your signature on a document. You need to be careful. You need to understand what you are doing. You need to understand the document, what the document entails, what it is all about. Because when it comes to law, what we say is that ignorance of the law is not an excuse. So you cannot, after signing a document, and then you begin to experience the repercussion, say that you signed not having an understanding of what that document is all about. When it comes to law, the law does not understand that language. The law does not understand that the reason why you signed that document is because you have no understanding. Hello everyone, welcome. Zoe, welcome. It's good to have you here. Hamzat, this is also good to have you here. Please let me know where you're watching from. Let me know where we're watching from. Where am I from? I'm from Nigeria. I'm speaking from Lagos, Nigeria, and my name is Modupe Vincent. So in today's live video, what we are looking at is you signing a document. The questions you need to ask yourself before you sign any document. Signing a document, what you are saying is that it is your deed. That is what the law, how the law sees it. So any document whatsoever, as long as you have your signature appended to it, the law will see it as your deed. And I'm saying that it is not an excuse, it is not a reason for you in law to say that, oh, you didn't have an understanding, that you just signed it. So whatever document you are about to sign, it's important that you have an understanding of the implication of what that document is all about. It could be, even bank documents. It could be your insurance documents. It could be your, maybe an estate. You are writing a letter. Signature is saying, the essence of the signature is that you are saying that this is me. This is me. King Penguin, do you think I'm King Penguin? Okay. So it's important that before you sign any document, henceforth, you should ask yourself this 10 questions. And the reason why I'm bringing these questions to us this evening is so that whenever we want to sign a document, we'll have it in our mind that can this agreement come into? What could be the result of me signing a document. Some people, they sign guarantorship. You sign and stand as a guarantor for somebody who wants to take a facility or take a loan from the bank. What is the implication of you signing? You stand in as a surety for somebody who wants to take a job, who wants to take employment. Why? When you sign, what are you doing? When you sign, what you're doing is that you are saying that I agree to all the terms and conditions. We are traveling, they ask you to sign. You are signing, you are saying I consent. Signature in essence means agreement. Signature in essence means consent to everything that has been stated in that agreement. So before you sign any agreement, no matter what the agreement is, no matter what you assume that it is, it's important that you wait and you ask yourself these 10 questions. These 10 questions will guide you. These 10 questions will help you before you sign the next document. So I have given example of the kind of documents that people sign on a regular basis. Contract agreements, employment agreements. You are getting a job from somewhere and then they give you an agreement and ask you to sign. There are certain things that they're asking you to sign. What you're saying again is that I consent. What you are saying again is that I agree to all that has been stated on this paper. So before you sign, I'm saying again, please read. I'm saying again, please have an understanding. And where you are not sure of the things that are written there, it is important that you consult somebody who can explain it to you, and it is usually a lawyer. And that is why, or a legal practitioner, and that is why I am speaking right now from the point of a legal practitioner to say, don't sign that document except you have an understanding of the terms and the conditions stipulated in that agreement. So what are the questions I want us to look at? What are the questions I want us to ask ourselves? The very first question that I want us to ask ourselves before you sign that other document. DJ, hi, welcome to this platform this evening. So the first question you must ask yourself is, do I fully understand what I'm signing? Do you fully understand what you're signing? Some people have signed, and what they have done is that they have literally given up their rights. Why? Because in the content of that agreement, it stated that you are giving up your right. But because you did not understand what it was said, what was written there, you just signed it. And some people will say, is it not just ordinary signature? I can sign. There's so much behind that signature. So you have to ask yourself, do I fully understand what I'm signing? And where you do not understand what you're signing, please, I appeal to you, don't sign. Because I said that ignorance of the law is not an excuse, and ignorance of the law is not an excuse in any jurisdiction. Whether you are in Nigeria, you are in Ghana, you are in South Africa, you are in India, you are in Germany, you are in the UK, you are in the US, you are in Australia, you are in Canada. Ignorance of the law is not an excuse. So it's important that even though you do not really understand it, get somebody to help you. Get somebody to tell you what the implication of what you are signing, especially if they are lengthy documents, where there are documents which are written in legal terms. Certain words mean certain things in law. Even the punctuation means a lot. So it is important that you get somebody who can translate it to you. So the second question you must be asking yourself before you sign that document, before you sign that agreement, is that ask yourself, under this agreement, what are my responsibilities as a person who wants to sign, as a person who wants to be a party to that agreement? What are my responsibilities? What are my obligations? So if you cannot clearly explain, or if you cannot clearly state that these are my obligations or these are my responsibilities, then I'm going to sound a point of caution. Don't sign. If you do not understand what your responsibilities are, don't sign, because in any agreement there is usually a minimum of 2 parties, you and the other party. The other party might be an individual, or it may be a corporation, or it may be you and any other party. Maybe 2 parties, it may be 3 parties, maybe 4 parties signing an agreement, but one of the party is usually you. And we're saying that before you sign, especially where that document is not drafted by you, it is drafted by somebody who then brings the agreement to you and says to you, sign this document. Please, number one, if you do not understand, don't sign. Number two, you must ask yourself, what is my obligation, or what are my obligations or my responsibilities under this contract? Contract comes in various forms. It may be an agreement for you and another person to start a business. It may be, like I said, a contractual one. Sometimes, even when it comes to prenuptial agreement for people who want to get married, it is important for you to have an understanding. As long as it is a document that needs you to sign, be careful before you sign. So the second question that I have is that you must ask, what are my responsibilities? What are my obligations under this agreement? The third thing that we are going to ask ourselves, especially when you want to sign, is you must ask yourself that what are the penalties? That if I should break this agreement, if for whatever reason I break this agreement, what would be the penalty for me breaking this agreement? What will happen? What are the penalties? What is the consequence of me breaking this agreement? Because I said once you append your signature, it is as good as done. You are saying, take me responsible. You are saying, hold me accountable. So ask yourself, number one, do I have an understanding? Number two, what are my responsibilities or my obligations? And number three that we're talking about is, what is the penalty should, in case that I, do not fulfill my own part of the obligation. So the fourth question you must ask yourself before you sign that document is, what the other party, like I said, it is not just you, you're not the only person to that contract, whatever that contract is. There is a second or a third party to it. Ask yourself, what are the other person's responsibilities as well? Just as you have your responsibilities, the other party also has a responsibility. So you need to have an understanding what is expected of that person. What is also expected of that person, and it must be clearly stated. So in a document whereby it is only your own responsibility, it is only your own obligation that is stated, it is one-sided, and it is not advisable that you as a person append your signature. So you need to understand, and it must be clearly stated that this is that other party's responsibilities. These are the other person's obligation, because usually when it comes to law, it is not what you intend. It is not what you assume. What the court will look at are the wordings, the terms and the conditions that are stated in the document. That is what the law will go look into. Most times when we're entering into a contract, everything is usually rosy. We have a good relationship and all that. But what helps us, what guides us, what binds us is this agreement. And once we sign this agreement, we are bound by it. So you ask yourself, like I said, what is the other person's responsibility when it comes to this agreement as well. The fifth question that you must ask yourself is there a way of exit should, in case I am no longer interested? Does the agreement give room for exit? If I say that, okay, I am tired, I have tried this thing is not working for me, is there an exit clause in this agreement? You need to have an understanding of all this before you sign a contract, before you sign an agreement. Ask yourself, what is the way out? What is the escape route for me in this contract? And I will say this, please never sign an agreement that is vague. Never sign an agreement that is vague. What I mean is an agreement that is not properly stated, that does not properly state, your obligations of both parties. If it's vague, it's not clear, you are entering into a contract, you are entering into a lease agreement. The lease agreement states when you are starting the agreement, but it does not tell you when the agreement ends. That kind of agreement is not enforceable. That kind of agreement is vague. And I'm saying to you, don't sign those kind of agreements. So as I just want to know, as you're watching, which one which of these questions that we have spoken about, 4 of them now, which one actually resonates with you? Which one do you think that you have fallen victim of? Maybe you didn't understand and then you just signed or something. Let us read in the comments. What have you where have you do you think that you have made a mistake, you have made an error, and as the result of you signing that document, it has landed you to where you did not expect? You can share your experience as I move on. So the number 5 money question, the legal question you must ask yourself before you sign that document is, that number 6 is that the dates, are the figures, are the oh, welcome back. That's a technical error. So you want to ask yourself that the addresses, the parties, the names, are they properly indicated? You need to double check to be sure, so that, because little things do matter when it comes to contracts, when it comes to you signing. If the addresses are not properly inserted, if the names are not properly or correctly stated, it has a way of affecting you. So it's important that before you sign, you look at it. There could be typographical errors, there could be errors that were actually intended by the other party. So it's important that you ensure that everything is, in order. There is nothing like an error. Oh, it was an error. It is not an error. You have to ensure that everything is properly, worded, everything is correctly spelled. It is important. Before you sign that document, ensure that those things are in place. So the next one that we're going to look at, the question you must ask, the 7th question is you must ask is, has anything been promised to you, verbal promise, that is not documented? There are certain agreements that must be in writing, especially when it has to do with property. When it has to do with real estate, it has to be in writing. And I'm saying that where you have an agreement, something written, a written agreement, and then the other party also makes some promises and makes these promises verbally, it is important for you to ask that person that this thing that you have promised me verbally, it has to be in writing. It must be in writing. If it's not written, then it is not legal, and you cannot bring it up as an evidence in court. So it is important that wherever you have a written agreement and then the other party makes a verbal promise orally, ensure that that party states it in that agreement before you sign. So where you have signed some things and then maybe you put there that some things are oral or something, it will not work. Legally, it will not work. So you have to ensure that everything as regarding that contract, whatever it may be, you have to ensure that everything is written. Those promises made to you, those waivers made to you orally, please tell the person that, look, this thing has to be in this agreement before I sign. Don't sign except everything is written. It is in that document. That is what I am saying. Verbal agreements can be very fundamental. You saying that, because what will happen is, if it's not in writing, you might be giving away some of your rights, and then it will now be your word versus the other person's word. And it is only the person that can show any form of evidence that the court will listen to. So if you have been gaining value this far, please, I want to plead with you to please like this video, please share, and at the same time, please subscribe to this channel. We talk about money matters, we talk about legal tips, we talk about money in marriage. We speak to women, we speak to men as it relates to your finances. So please subscribe and also turn on the notification bell. So the 8th question we want to look at, I'm saying that before you sign that document, you need to ask is that what exactly are the words on this document? What is it saying? What is it explaining? So, most times, right, when we see agreements, especially maybe when we go to the bank and we want to open an account. Welcome back, network issues again. So I want to ask, how many people actually read all agreements before they sign, especially when it comes to bank documents or even our phones? We just ask us, do you agree to these terms and conditions, and we sign. A lot of people, I have also been guilty of it, especially when it comes to these bank documents, and you see all those little prints, they type them in small letters, and you're like, oh, maybe the agreement is about 2, and 1 is okay, 2 is okay, 3 is okay. It's when it's getting to 4 and above that people just append their signature. What am I doing? Am I not just opening an account? And then later you say, oh, the charges are too much. Oh, they are charging me for stamp duty, they're charging me for this, they're charging me for that. But the actual fact of it is that everything that they are charging you on is actually written on that document, that paper, that account opening package that you have signed. All those things are actually there, and you have signed, you have agreed, you have consented to it. For you to now come back and say, oh no, I didn't know, I was not told. You were told only that it was written in those fine prints, and you need to understand what is written in this fine print. If you cannot do it alone, then you may have to get the services of a lawyer, because like I said, in those fine prints, a lot of things are embedded. One, sometimes automatic renewal. You're just wondering, why is this subscription? Why is it rolling over after the month, after my subscription? It's because you have signed that you agree to automatic waiver. And sometimes some agreements tell you that, look, there's a part that says that, look, they don't have to resort to you, don't have to get back to you, that maybe after a certain month or so, automatically your right is waived, and then you sign, and then later in future you are complaining. That is the effect of signing without you understanding what you are signing. Sometimes you may be signing away your rights, you may be signing away things, your finances, things that you never even expected. So ensure that you read, ensure that you have, that you must ask yourself is, have I had enough time to view and ask questions? Sometimes some people will come to you and tell you that, no, you have to sign in now. Anytime anyone brings a document to you and tells you that you have to sign it now, please, that is a red flag, not for you to sign it now. Anytime anyone comes to you and say that, look, you need to sign this document, if you do not sign it now, then no deal. Please, it is a red flag. Do not sign. A lot of people, I have counseled people have come to me for legal advice, and I realize that a lot of people fall into problems, fall into challenges, lose their rights, lose things that should have come to them because they signed documents that they had no understanding of the implication of what they were signing. So I beseech you, I beg you once again, don't sign that document until you have an understanding of what those things mean. So that is the number 9 thing. Have I had time to review? If you had not had time to review, then don't sign until you are able to review, have an understanding of what it says. And then the final thing, the number 10 question you should ask yourself is, should I get a legal advice before signing? It's important. It's important. Yes, people feel that if I should get a lawyer to review, I would have to pay. But I can tell you that it's better for you to pay a little sum upfront and get yourself legally protected, that leaving yourself and just assuming and just, taking that chance, and then later you lose things. Don't forget, when it comes to contract, it could be property. You want to buy a property, and then the buyer is bringing documents for you to sign. And then in that document, they're asking for things and saying things that ordinarily you shouldn't do. So this evening is all about law, is all about the legal side of our daily lives. This night is all about the things that we need to know that will prevent us from getting into trouble, that will prevent us from signing our rights, that will prevent us from signing our lives, in fact, away. So before you sign that contract, it could be your prenuptial, certain people want that, look, I need to sign an agreement before I get married. Ensure that you have an understanding. You are standing as a guarantor or as a surety for somebody. Ensure that you have an understanding. As long as it will take you to append your signature, please have an understanding of what your responsibilities are. Have an understanding of what the other party's responsibilities are. Have an understanding of what the possibility of exit. Have an understanding of, ensure that you do not. And see, another thing that I also see people do, they will append on each page. Make sure that you do not sign a blank document. That don't do. Somebody just comes to you, maybe brings a blank check and say, please just sign. Ensure that the names are on it, the amount is on it, the date is on it before you sign. Or somebody just bring a plain paper to you and say, please, I want you, maybe you are in a hurry. You don't even know what the document is about, and people just bring the document to you and say, please, can you sign off this? You have to take your time. If you're in a hurry, don't sign. Because you need to understand. I have seen a situation. A situation had come to me whereby that person, it was an elderly man and a younger person, and the younger person brought this document to this elderly man and said, please, we need your signature. And he said, what is this about? And they told him that, oh, this is this thing is about. And then he was only able to check the first page, but he did not look through the other pages until he got to the last page where you have the signature page, and then he just signed. And then later he realized that what he was told that document contained was different, because they had inserted some other papers, right, of something else. If the intention was to defraud, and they were able to succeed in defrauding this elderly gentleman. So I'm saying this evening, please, it may look, maybe it will not affect me, but please, I'm saying, don't sign except you have an understanding. Please help other people to know that, look, ignorance of the law is not an excuse. Saying I did not have an understanding of what this document contained is not an it is not an excuse. It is not a defense for you. You need to understand. If you need to get a lawyer involved, please get a lawyer involved. So that is my submission for this evening, that before you sign that document, read it carefully. If you do not know what it says, get a lawyer involved. It could be a friend that could just interpret the document for you. So I want to say a very big thank you for watching with me, for staying on this live with me. I would have loved to know where you are watching from, to indicate. And if you're watching the replay as well, please let me know where you're watching from, and let me know what mistakes that you have made in the past. Once again, please like this video, share, and please subscribe if you have not yet subscribed. And until tomorrow, I'll be back with more money matters, more tips on our money. If there's any particular thing you would want me to talk about on investment, on business, on money with couples, teaching our children about money, women empowerment, or even tips, money tips for men, please let me know. I'm here. This is what I do, and this is what I'm passionate about. We're here to grow big, we're here to go strong, we're here to grow together. But I want to tell you that if anything is going to be, if you're going to get that wealth, if you're going to make, protect yourself legally, then it is up to you. So until tomorrow, when we'll be back here live again to talk about more money tips, I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you once again for watching. And please, there are other videos on this channel. You're free to watch. I have about almost 100, including short videos. Don't forget to join, to like, to subscribe. I'll see you tomorrow. God bless you. Bye.